So hello everyone, welcome back to the second part. So the Uranian activity I would like to speak about this week is Uranus meets Pallas Athena in the sky. Now this is big and life-changing. Pallas Athena was born from the head of Zeus, so she has a very strong cerebral tactical energy and she is charged because she was in the sign of Aries. So she has a charge to herself, a fresh and new Pallas Athena, the conqueror Pallas Athena, and she conquers with wisdom and tactics. Uranus is the revolutionary. Uranus is, let's say, when Pallas Athena meets Uranus in the world, it will play out. There was that tiny little problem issue thing that technology could not yet solve. Now suddenly it's solved. There is technology for that which is unthinkable. And in the sign of Taurus, this has to do with agriculture, mutating plants, the ethnicity, I'm so sorry. Mercury retrograde at full swing there. So the ethical, the moral part of like how are we mutating, is it okay? How okay is it what we're doing? It solves the problem, but still, aren't we? Pallas Athena will ask this question, surely, because Pallas Athena in her tactics knows when to ask the heart, and when something is profoundly not okay with the heart, she says stop the project right there, because no, we're not going there. But Uranus is when Pallas Athena it becomes feisty, when she rebels, when she says, she doesn't even say to stop the project, she stomps on the project. Because she's also a female energy after all. She's a mother, she's an aunt, she's a wife, she as a role, the role of the divine feminine. And sometimes the mother knows when to slap immediately and then give the explanation. So Uranus, so this is where tactical systems, GPSs, polarity of the planet, magnetical phenomenon, solar activity will manifest in weird ways. And why is this very important also? This is when Taurus is important because that's our instincts. So this is when sometimes the instinct comes with a certain tactic and you follow it and it seems like a miracle happened to you, and actually it was just your instinct, a sheer animal instinct sometimes applied Uranus to that which is unthinkably uninstinctual, and it can get you somewhere so surprisingly good that it solves like an existential problem. This is what Pallas Athena is good for, especially when she's rebellious like that. Sometimes doing the unusual leads to really, really good places, and this is where it's also in your instinct, and all you need to do is just give a voice or somehow allow your instinct to truly guide you where it knows it has to go. Because instinct in Uranian way, well, that's am I allowed to actually say the intelligence of your creators that was woven into your genes as per mathematical information? Am I allowed to say this? Because if I am allowed to say this, then that's what it is. That it's smarter than any quantum computer we can create right now. So that will activate. And Gemini loves when that activates, because that Gemini loves that. That's Gemini, all Gemini. Gemini possesses that in its grips. Imagine when Uranus will move into Gemini. Especially in the segment of Gemini it rules, co-rules, so to speak. Oh, and good thing I said this, and Venus is the esoteric ruler of Gemini. So whatever choice or whatever Gemini new moon activity we're gonna have, it's also emotional in a way. It also speaks to emotion, and this emotion is permanent, because Venus is in Taurus, permanent value change. Whatever feeling you have, it changes you. The feeling, the sheer feeling. the sheer feeling of it. Like, let me just give you the most absurd example. You hated the taste of cumin all your life, and you try it under this energy, and the hate is gone. And the love starts sparking up, and you can try curries and other foods which you never ever liked. And that's a big life change if you truly think about it. Because you don't know if the taste of a curry will lead you to your future wife, husband, boy, girlfriend, to your destiny, really. You don't know what Venus will use to guide you. It can sometimes be taste. Like, some people's happy marriage is literally provided by Venus as a taste. As in, the wife is or husband, yes, that's also the case, is a really good cook. And no matter what they do, all they need to do is put their heart and soul in a meal, and their partner is over the moon, full of forgiveness. And that can go for years and years and years and lead to a true happy marriage, because that's Taurus, the five senses. The unconscious will not torture you when your five senses are constantly, tingled, always active. It will not feel the need to torture you. It will just sleep. And because you're full of joy. Even the bad part, well, you want your partner to do any kind of mistake, because you will know that the heart and soul put into whatever they delight you with is gonna send you to Valhalla or whatever. So, and that works. That's the magic. That's real magic. That is the magic of Venus in the sign of Taurus. And that's the most powerful medicine to anything. So, because this is where Pallas Athena is also hand in hand with Uranus, under the guidance of the queen herself, Venus, you can imagine that for a lot of people, this is going to be emotional shock. Well, I'm not ugly. Surprise, surprise, I'm not ugly. The mirror doesn't show what it showed me all of my life anymore. This will happen to a lot of people, especially females, because this is a strong feminine energy here, but also masculine, because Uranus can be just a man, just a total stranger complimenting you on the street for absolutely no reason. It shocks you so much that you wake up from the nightmare that you're ugly, and you realize that that was just a stupid fear or feeling or whatever. And replace this with anything susceptible to Venus, and it's the same thing. You wake up from the nightmare. So you see where alcohol can actually do us a massive favor, because you're never gonna fall into the illusion again. And if someone tells you you're ugly, after this experience, it will never reach your soul. You will just smile and, okay, so are you, bye. We're all ugly because we're flesh and blood. And this is how profoundly healing this energy can be. Problem is Saturn retrograde. So before I forget, Saturn retrograde begins on the 2nd of June. On the 4th of June, I'm so sorry, and lasts until the 23rd of October. So when Saturn is retrograde, it turns inward. So this is where we are the judges. We are our own protectors, our own guardians. We see things for what we are, and we make certain choices and, a judgment where it's perfectly applicable to us. We don't discriminate the self in any way. We are not kinder to ourselves, neither crueler than we would to another person. This is where we face reality for what it is, and guided by the spirit, guided by our faith, benevolence and all that, we weave together necessity, tactics, intelligence with the heart, and this is how success is created. This is how it's done. This is how the world is changed, by changing ourselves. That's what it truly is. If you go to evolutionary astrology, this is how changing our individual routines, customs, faith, belief systems, mindset. Gemini actually changes the world. Give it 6 months. If a collective changes, give it 6 months and the country would have changed. If we upgrade ourselves, at least, let's say, 70% of the population receives a mental upgrade, well, that country upgrades in a way. And it's real, literal. And also Mercury is standing still in the sky, preparing to go direct. At the same time, Saturn is turning inwards. What does this say to us? We will never forget this lesson ever. This is where the dog finally learns the training. We are the dogs. This is the Pavlovian expression of this energy, where the universe is Pavlov. The universe is the scientist, and it educated us. This is where it sinks in. Whatever lesson we are being taught at this Mercury retrograde, choices, career change, relationship, how we view ourselves, the relation to ourselves, relation to soul, relation to one part of ourselves, our mental sphere, our emotional world, our hearts, our physical self, our sexuality, whatever. This is how, when the healing sinks in, that it's hard, but you're more healed than not healed. Would the case be different? The opposite. Would the case be that you're in danger and you're dying and you wake up to this fact? Well, this is when it's not too late. This is a not too late wake up call. And even if, let's say, I don't know, there is a quantum universe, maybe there is one person in the planet for whom it is too late, okay, but it's not too late even for that person, because there is a chance for miracles. And that's why you had to be that 1%, that one single soul on the planet for who it is too late right now for you to invite the miracle, So everyone is safe if the universe wills it so. And this is the beauty in astrology, because you see the universe's intent, but you don't know if it actually executes it, because we have free will. And Pluto in tarot is the judgment card, the rapture. Why? Every choice we make in our lives is actually where we condemn or praise ourselves. It is us who judge ourselves, our souls. The soul is more intelligent in any way, shape, and form than 10 trillion Einstein's consciousnesses put together alive on Earth. So the soul is infinitely intelligent by nature. It can choose to be infinitely stupid and abyssal. Why not? Free will. It can choose. It can choose, yes. But for the soul, it's easier to choose intelligence than for our incarnated selves. And if someone, let's say, is limited intellectually, but they have an intelligent soul, they're intelligent. They're like pure genius intelligent. Like, for example, my grandmother lived in a village in rural place all her life. I don't know if she had 6 grades done at school, but she was the top dog in the village. She was the brain of the village. Because she was born for that. So her soul guided her. So this is when there is such a thing as intelligence of the spirit. And this is where I want to get, because there is a truly fantastic aspect taking place on the 4th of June, and that is the moon conjunct a dwarf planet called Varuna. And I am in love with this dwarf planet. And this in the sign of Leo, the heart. This is like where the divine, for a short period, for a couple of minutes maybe, awakens in our hearts. This is when our hearts can enliven the hearts of others. This is where we are, I forgot how they call the shock devices, where they start someone's heart when they have suffered a heart attack. We are dead for another person's soul. So let's embody this energy as best as we can. And also, Mercury is officially direct at that moment, so this is where we're slowly and surely getting out of Mercury retrograde. Not as much Geminis and Virgos because they're still in the shadow of it. Even if they know they are gonna get out at a specific period in time, it's still hard. You know, it's hard. And at the same time, on the 1st of June, Black Moon Lilith meets with Ceres and the moon in the sign of Cancer, ruled by the moon. This is a very strong emotional energy. This is when we're going to be very, very triggered. And you know, this might play out on the world stage as protests, quite violent protests, because of Mars and Jupiter, because of Black Moon Lilith, because of Gemini New Moon. Gemini is very violent and rebellious in its nature. It has a very bully side, and it's quick. It's volcanic. You know, it's not just Aries who is Aries. Taurus is very violent because it's co-ruled by Vulcanus. If this even makes sense, but it sure does if you live with a Taurus. And Gemini also has an electric Uranian side to it, so that's even more violent than Aries, to be totally honest with you, if the brain switches off. So yes, that spells rebellion, that spells protests, that spells legal battles with words, social media, harsh words. I will never ever speak with you again. Curses. It's not gonna be an easy period. And also, Mercury is going direct, so what is said here is always gonna be said. This is where the words will leave wounds, words will be knives, karmic knives, even karmic razor blades. And let's be sure, especially those people who know that they are short-tempered, let's not throw shurikens at people. Shurikens, those Japanese weapons, those ninja stars or whatever, and those are words. Verbally, I mean, let's not spit those, because this is where you don't know what you can do with it. If there are vulnerable people out there in the world, and perhaps they're not showing it, no one knows that they're depressed or suffering, and you throw shurikens at that person, and something happens, something bad happens, your karma, you're responsible, know it or not. You will be tortured by the divine for what you've done. It doesn't matter how innocent you think you are, you'll be tortured. As in, if next incarnation you have a limb missing, well, not limb, this will affect, because the words, tongue missing, this is why. Oh, poor soul, but... So, I'm sorry but I know this is, for example, part of my culture's astrology, so why not speak it? Why should I discriminate other cultures from this information? Because maybe someone out there wondered why the divine would do this to a person, to be born with a very strong physical defect. And this is where it's innocent. Because I'm sure no one wanted to throw the shurikens, but the shurikens ruined a divine's plan for that person. So someone has to pay for it. You know what I mean? And it's everyone's innocent in this game. And this is where you cannot blame anything. It was just lack of wisdom. And now, maybe if that person listens to an astrologer and the astrologer says what I said now, don't throw words at people, bite your tongue. That can save a person, perhaps, you know? So, the beginning of June, the first days of June are gonna be heavy, emotionally packed, storm of emotions, brainstorming as well. But don't get me wrong, you're probably busy career wise or materially paperwork, something you are also doing which is totally in the 3D in the norm, administration or social or something like that, and a drama in the meantime, and drama in the world, and an adolescent approach, like it or not, because that's Gemini. So expect to be sane next week. So this is what I mean. Let's just pretend all of this is a game, and please don't watch my horoscope, because I'm not proud that I'm doing this horoscope. I would like to smile, I would like to share happy news, but I can't help it. So please don't judge me, don't don't shoot the messenger. I don't want to be like this, but I cannot lie either, because this is what I genuinely feel and this is how I see this energy. So yes, so that is the main aspect that I would like to speak about. Mercury and Saturn changing position, changing movements around the same time. It sinks in the mental sphere. That's why I use the Pavlovian expression, because we will remember this. Whatever happens now is worth remembering for a long time, because this is Taurus. And including the world stage or something, because both Mars and Jupiter are still very, very close to 0 degrees of Aries, the world axis where everything begins, made public, initiative, and diplomatic conflict as well. So it's not a very, very easy energy, and Pluto empowers all of this. And Mercury will still hold this trine with Pluto for a couple of more days, so it just gets stronger and stronger. And also Saturn. When Saturn stands still in the sky, it's closest to the planet, it manifests. That's the window of manifestation for whatever, you know? And also Saturn still holds a square somewhat to the nodal axis. So this is what tells us that we need to remember these lessons that we are being taught right now. And chances are Saturn teaches these lessons to us through the words of other people. Aquarian Saturn in Aquarius, other people, total strangers even. This is where Saturn shows how truly interconnected we are. But this is where Saturn goes against science. Saturn says, in the sign of Aquarius, being interconnected to other human beings and having slightly telepathic capabilities, this is supposed to be like that. This was like that in the Iron Age, Bronze Age, 300 years ago, active online, always like this. Family members shared thoughts. I lived this when I was a child, because I still grew up in that old world, because my grandma lived in an isolated village, so no TV. Even if TV, no one watched TV, as in, not saying that they didn't have electricity, but I'm saying that they didn't have that influence, so no one cared about. So this empathic bond, where there has a physical element to it, because our brains can somehow read the electromagnetic field of other people's brains, but you need to spend time. You need to spend time with that person. You need to share germs with the person, because your germs are your germs and they carry your water, your spirit. So you need to eat with the person. And of course, in other expressions of this energy, if you seek a partner, of course, that is the kissing and spending time physically with that person is a must, because it's a must, as in that's how you become one. You have to teach the invisible side of you how to access the invisible side of the other person, and then there is a perfect friendship, because a relationship is not what meets the eye. The soul communicates, the unconscious of the two people communicates like two octopuses touching each other with their tentacles and saying hi to each other. They have a language of their own. Sometimes you smile and laugh, and the two unconsciouses are at war with each other. Learn the invisible language of the self, of the body, and that's also physical. So you see what this, and Mercury is the planet of the mind, and it rules Virgo. Virgo is germs, the intelligence within germs. Mitochondria within our cells are from bacteria that we made our own intimately. They're part of the human genome, as in everything. They're part of human and not just human vertebrate. And biologists will know this. So the mitochondria was a germ. So we love germs. You know what I mean? Germs are like nanobots inside of us, but we are in control. Our unconscious is in our brain. This is complex, so study this if you are interested in this. But this energy comes online this week because Cancer has this side to it. Cancer is the first water sign, so it's the most down to earth water sign in a intelligent way. Cancer is corporally connected to nature, so Cancer is someone who knows how nature works, kind of, and understand. Cancer is always curious to biology, for example, because they want to understand how life works. Simple as that. And of course, it's rational, logical. It's a good instinct to have. And Jupiter in the sign of Aries amplifies, expands all of this. So it's not going to be an easy week, but it's a week when we'll learn. This week, you're gonna learn from life. And if you're a student and learning is part of your job, your life, your existence, is your main mission right now, then do it. Because what you will learn this week, no matter what, of course you might find it boring, hard, or whatever, but if you are meticulous now, maybe what you learn now is how you're gonna be number one at the job interview for a big director position, or what you learn under this energy, embrace it, because Saturn is at its most harshest but most benevolent harsh, you know what I mean? A good father, Saturn, the good daddy. So, and this Varuna in the sign of Leo meeting the moon, this is a very strong faith energy. When prayer, this is when we are our heart, this is when share everything with the universe. But almost in a religious way, as in make sure there is a tiny bit of sacredness around you. Something, for example, a bath, that's already cleansing ritual, that's sacred. So do something sacred. Because Leo is ritualistic in itself, it likes the custom. Just like Taurus, a fixed energy, even if it's fire. It's a fire that likes to burn a specific way, specific degree, specific color, a constant reliable fire. So this is my advice to you. Thank you everyone for all the kindness. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the beautiful words that you share with me. I'm still, of course, a little bit overwhelmed. So please have patience with me. And thank you for everything. Until next time, bye for now.